Now, through the miracles of modern technology, zany worldwide banner featuring Tom, Michelle, and Jim in an on-topic, off-topic free-for-all. Welcome to the Gun Talk After Show.
Hey, it's the After Show where we get together to chat. Now, Michelle is out. I guess she's under the weather, but Jim is here. How are you? You're not under the weather, are you?
I am over the weather.
And over the moon.
That's right. I'm doing awesome. I'm still stoked from last week, and we can get into that in a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. We do want to talk about that, but we've got a caller. I don't want him to be on for too long, so let's go ahead and jump into that. Landon's with us out of Austin, Texas. Hey, Landon, you're on the After Show. Welcome.
Awesome. Love the After Show. I'm calling because I've ran into like the weirdest, range rule that I've ever heard of, where they don't allow you to shoot full metal jacket ammo on their rifle range. This is 100-yard, 200-yard, 300-yard rifle range. I called 5 other ranges that I could find, and none of them had that restriction, although on their websites, all but one said that FMJ was allowed. The one that didn't have it listed, the Austin Gun Club, and I called them. The nice woman said she'd never heard of that rule either. She was going to go Google it.
Did you ask them why they had that rule?
The gentleman behind the counter said the bullets bounce and the neighbors don't like it.
Okay. Oh, well, that means they've got a problem with their range.
Yeah.
Bullets bounce anyway. Bullets ricochet if you don't hit the berm. So I'm guessing what's happening is people are smacking them into the ground. Yeah, it's definitely not scientifical in this case. I love it. But yeah, what's going on is they have a range evidently where you can bounce bullets over the berm, and then I guess they're going someplace, and somebody has said, well, FMJs do that more. I don't know if that's true, but the good news is, I guess, Landon, is that's one range, and you've got 5 others that don't do that, so you can go to the other ranges.
Yeah, that one's definitely on my short list for that, and a whole host of other reasons. But yeah, that just bugs the heck out of me. That there's all sorts of people on the internet that have all interesting theories, but again, it all sounded a little bit weary. This feels sort of like cargo cult mentality of old school thinking about bullets.
There could very much be some old school thinking about bullets, but also could just be a bad range design, or they could be pretty close to neighbors, and some of their clientele are missing the berms. And here's what happens. People will set up a target. I've certainly seen this happen. And they say, I want to shoot at 25 yards. So they put it out a target 25 yards, but the berm is back at 100. And the angle is such that when they shoot through the cardboard at 25 yards, the bullet goes down, hits the range, hits the ground, and actually ricochets over the 100-yard berm because they don't have a 25-yard berm for people to shoot in front of. And I guess the point there being, you need to have your target right in front of the berm at whatever distance you're shooting. Otherwise, you can, in fact, bounce, or ricochet bullets over the berm, at which point you have no control over where they're going. That's a design issue.
I didn't even get out to the range because all I had was FMJ, and they just don't stock 7.5 Swiss hollow points behind the counter for some reason. So
right. So strange, huh? So what do you do now?
Well, now I just basically have been gone through and sort of cleaning up some guns and getting some things set for next weekend. Myself and a few others are going to go to one of the other ones sort of in the Austin area. But I had one other topic I'd like to talk about real quick, if I can. And this is only because we're on the after show. It feels more appropriate to discuss it here. And my girlfriend encouraged me to say, oh, no, call Tom at Gun Talk. Tell him that story. So the problem was, what I'm trying to do is I got my father to explore semi-auto pistols. He's had a J-frame revolver, 20 years. And so I said, well, I shoot the Glock over here. I shoot this SIG over here. Hey, dude, these are really cool. And he thought, man, these are really awesome. So he went and got himself a Glock 19 and a 43. And so he was going to buy my stepmother a Glock 43 as well. And I'm pretty sure she had no idea that was happening. He just said, this one's really, really good for me. You'll really love it too, sweetheart. And so I was trying to think of a way to explain to him that maybe you better let her pick the pistol for a personal defense pistol, and this is really just for personal defense.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was trying to figure out a way that I could explain it because I'm his son. He'll take my advice on some things, but to others, it wouldn't really work. So anyway, to make the story short, I was trying to think of a personal item that he wouldn't go buy for, or you really need to know someone really well for. And the idea that I came up with was underwear. I sort of said to him, if you wouldn't buy her underwear, don't buy her a personal defense gun. And if you start inserting that into these conversations that you have about personal firearms, it sounds as ridiculous as it really is. That make sense?
I have found that if you insert underwear into any conversation, people kind of stop and kind of start listening because they're kind of like, what did he just say?
Where's this going?
Yeah, what was that? What?
And you wouldn't go into the store and say, sweetheart, I found this nice pair of underwear. It fits me perfectly. You're going to love it. Like, no.
Imagine what the dressing room folks think about that.
Landon, you are so right.
It really does sound that silly. I was trying to, trying to find something a little more impactful. You could
no. This is so after show,
and this is why I said. She said this should be for the after show.
It's a great analogy.
Absolutely, this is so after show. You're exactly right. Holy cow! But I do like the analogy. It's kind of like, yeah, you wouldn't do that. So how's it working out? Did he actually buy the Glock 43 for?
He's more stubborn than I am, so I think he's bought it. So we'll see how it works out. I mean, at a certain point, if I think, Tom, you made this statement where, if you wipe that person's butt, you really don't want to hear their advice on certain things. And I don't know.
That wasn't me. That may be somebody, but it wasn't me, baby.
Yeah. We'll use it now, but we never said it before.
Yeah, but now that I can't get it out of my head, thanks so much. Jeez. Man.
So we'll see. Maybe I'll end up with a lightly used Glock 43 in a few months.
There you go.
See.
Oh, I see. There's a method to your madness here. Okay. All right. Well, look, Landon, thank you so much. And, I don't know what the deal is with the FMJ, but I think just go to a different range, and you got that one figured out. So I appreciate your call, man.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
All righty. Underwear. Guns. This is where you're supposed to pick up the slack on this, Jim.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking about the gun thing. I was kind of mesmerized because I've done that several times. What I pontificate and tell other people not to do, I do it all the time. I'll buy my wife a gun that I want. Well, why don't you let me pick up? Well, okay, I'll absorb this one. Let's go get you one.
That's right. Well, I guess we can't take it back, so I'll just keep this one. We'll go get you one.
Yeah.
That's not crazy. That's just an ulterior motive.
Right,
I get
sure.
that.
It's manipulative. Yeah, I'm proud of that.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's that thing, too. So, all right. So, I tell you what, I want to talk about this training that you got. What was it called?
Combative handgun.
Combative handgun.
Yeah.
But let's hold that till the break. Let's take a quick break because I want to talk about, we always talk about training and all that. And I think you may have had an aha moment or two in the middle of this. Is that fair to say?
Several.
Okay. Hold that. We'll be right back.
After a long workday, you need a break when you get home. That's when it's trigger time. With quality adult air guns that are powerful, accurate, and quiet, and cost just pennies to shoot. We are Pyramid Air. We know air guns. Let our experts with more than 150 years of combined air gun experience help find the right air gun for you. Get your trigger time, anytime, for less. PyramidAir.com.
Fans of Slip 2000 EWL gun lubricant will want to try EWL 30 this summer. The thicker EWL 30 sits up, migrates less, stays wetter longer, and will not dry out. Perfect for long-term storage. It also holds up better in hotter conditions while still providing the excellent high round count performance you have come to expect from the original EWL. Slip 2000. We're all about gun care. Learn more at slip2000.com.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SIG-TAC accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit sigsauer.com today.
All right, we're back. We're talking about combative handgun. Basically, going and taking a real defensive handgun class. And, Jim, you had that experience last week. What was it and what motivated you to do this? How did it come about?
Well, several things, because I always preach training like you do, except I don't get to do it as often. And an opportunity arose that a guy's opening up a Ohio chapter of a company based out of Wisconsin, I believe. And so he said, hey, I need some guinea pig students to take Module 1 of this 12-module course. Would you be willing to do it if I didn't charge you? I said, I would have been willing to do it if you did charge me, but yes. Because
That'd be even better.
Yeah, he holds his classes on Sundays, and I normally work Sundays. Last Sunday was an exception, so I said, well, so I'm not doing gun talk Sunday. What am I going to do? I'm going to do something gun-related.
I'm going to go gun shooting. There you go.
Exactly. And I'm not a great shot, but I hold my own. I'm okay on paper at a target, but a mall situation or a home invasion isn't going to be, a target 21 feet away. And so, I know I need the training. And I trained with you back in a couple of years back in Louisiana with the guys from the Vada Group.
The Vada Group,
yep. And that was eye-opening then. This was a little bit different because that was some further distant stuff. This was up close and personal. And we had, obstacles to hide and fight behind and, expose yourself limitedly. And the biggest thing I learned is I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I'm honest. I didn't have a clue, and I've got a slightly better clue now. But to think that I could instruct or I could I can show you a couple things, no way. I've got way more learning to do. So his free module offer might have just been a bait.
Cost you a lot of money right there.
Yeah, kid, the first one's free.
The first one's free, baby. Yeah, okay. Got you now.
Your drug dealer trick. Yeah, so.
That's right.
So, I'm definitely going to go back, and I'd like to be involved more on the business side with this guy because I think he's got a great plan in mind. He's going to convert a warehouse here in town to actually a tactical range with a fake building inside and
nice.
Yeah, and they've got the simunitions and the whole shot at the main place in Wisconsin. So he wants to basically imitate and follow they've got a pretty stringent policy. They don't allow you to flex much in their packaging and their franchising, so to speak. So and based on what I've seen from his videos and stuff, these guys are serious. This isn't well, you got your CCW. Let's take the next step. You've got to be serious about this stuff. And it's not a cheap course at all. And there's some things I loved about it. I did shoot pretty well, surprisingly, under stress. I did pretty well. I learned a lot that I still, in a pressure situation for some reason, I'm going to one eye shooting, which I'm really trying to shoot two eyes. I'm going to talk about the worst part of it. For me was somebody's right on top of you, and you have to shoot from the waist. I've never discharged a firearm with a muzzle that close to my body in my life.
Yeah, we're not talking about 3 feet. We're talking about 1 foot.
Yeah,
6 inches.
Right. You get your forearm up to block the guy's face, and you're discharging from the draw. I mean, you've just drawn from your holster and dropped your elbow, and you're discharging. So my barrel's 4 inches in front of my gut, and it was weird, and I don't think I'll ever be comfortable doing it. I'll do it more.
Yeah, you just do it over and over again. You get pretty comfortable with it. I mean, we've done it a lot, and then the next step from there is you do that, and now you take a step back, and you can join two hands together, and now you can actually keep shooting as you're backing up. Now you know what I'm talking about when I keep saying there's so much to this. And I know people think, well, why would you keep going back and taking the same I'm talking about a 5-day pistol class. Go back and take it again, and then take it again, and then go to another school and take essentially the same thing, because it's all of that, and there's just a lot to try to absorb and to try to master, and you come away from it going, wow, man, I just didn't know this stuff.
Yeah, I had no idea. And I can practice and will practice what I've learned, and have practiced actually since then, what I've learned. But there's nothing like having somebody watching you, because, it's still the thing where my elbows don't retract. And you have to look around to see your surroundings after you shoot. But if you follow your target to the ground, And there's secondary shooting if he happens to get out. And he's calling range commands at the back. So it's not like, okay, here's what's going to happen. You're going to shoot and pretend the guy fell down and he's saying, target 3's hot. He's not down. And you just shot target 2. Now you got to find target 3 again. There's a lot to it. And it's, and is it even realistic compared to real life? Probably not. But it's going to get you a lot closer.
I was just going to say, it's closer than shooting a cardboard target on the sticks.
Yep.
Where everybody's standing in one place and taking their time shooting. Now you're shooting and moving and got malfunctions, and you're shooting up close, and you're following it down to the ground. And, and now there's another 142 steps beyond this that you can go. Now, but here's the other thing. In addition to the whole, that's more than I thought it was going to be, I had no idea, all those other things, the bottom line for me, has always been, man, that was really fun.
Oh, it was a blast.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a blast because it wasn't like, oh, God, I got so much to learn. It wasn't negative at all. It's like, wow, I get to learn more stuff.
Yes. I get to come back and do this because I am digging getting to know this and being smarter and being more self-reliant and being more competent.
Right. And one big thing I had to do was I'd step out from cover, and because we were doing cover, we weren't doing concealment stuff. It's just cover.
Right.
And I'd step out and shoot, and then I would, I'd had a malfunction, so I'd be dropping my mag and tap racking. And at the end of it, I noticed he didn't have to say anything to me. I said, man, I have a problem getting back to cover when I have any kind of jam or anything else. He says, well, that'll change. I said, what'll change? He goes, when they're shooting back in the next
when
module.
They're shooting at you.
I'm sure I get hit a couple times. I'll probably get smarter.
Yeah, you use simunitions and all of a sudden, whack, whack. You go, I think I'm going to get behind this thing over here.
Yeah. Oh, that's what that's for.
That's why they call it cover. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like I'm a total idiot. I just, I'm not used to this stuff.
You also get task saturation. You really get overwhelmed pretty quickly. And that's when I was telling somebody about that a couple of days ago. I said, and that's because they'd been through simunition training. I said, that's why you do it over and over again. Because he said, man, I was just totally saturated. I was in over my head. I said, yeah, and they're not even giving you hard stuff. But if you go do that 10 times, no longer will you be saturated. You'll actually be problem solving in the middle of a gunfight. And that's why if you do it enough, you'll hear, and it sounds weird, the guys who do it a lot, they say, oh, yeah, it's just when I get into the middle of something like that, everything slows down for me. It's like, for everybody else, it's speeding up and you're overwhelmed. For these guys, everybody else is moving in slow motion, but they can move in real time. That's the thing. They're not moving in slow motion. They're just being able to process things so fast that it feels like it's slowed down, and they can see what's going on, and they can problem solve, and they can move over there, and they can deal with multiple targets. But you only get there by doing this over and over and have them build you up and break you down where, man, I'm just completely overwhelmed. Okay, we're going to do it 10 more times. And at the end of the 10th time, you're going, yeah, I can do this.
Yeah, repetition. Absolutely.
Do something else.
Yeah, so
that is cool. I'm so glad you did that.
Yeah,
that is so neat.
And I wasn't discouraged by what I didn't know. Because I didn't go in thinking, oh, I know it all because I produce gun talk. I must be an authority. I didn't have any of that attitude or nothing.
Right.
And there were things that I did that were like, wow, that felt pretty natural. The follow-up shots when the target has hit the ground and is starting to get up or the threat has resumed, I was real high percentage on those secondary shots. So that was good. And I'll continue to learn.
Sure.
It was overwhelming. There was a lot of stuff where you got 7-8 things to remember, and I'm remembering 3.
Right.
And
right.
breathing.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's where, after a while, you'll be able to handle more tasks.
Right.
When you're stressed.
Right. And I noticed I wasn't breathing. And not only is there, should you breathe? Breathing is highly recommended.
That's kind of self-correcting also. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
But there's a proper way to breathe. And he stopped and he pulled me aside. Right. He said, hey, try in through the nose, out through the mouth, which is a martial arts thing. I should have known anyway.
I was just going to say, it's your martial arts training kicking in.
Yeah. But I wasn't doing it because I was, it's foreign territory, shooting at, again, it's not paper. It's so different shooting in a semi-real world situation that, I've got the classic mistakes, which I'm taking with a grain of salt. I've got some stuff to work on, and I'm proud of it.
Well, everybody does. And the problem is people tend to minimize that aspect of what they don't know. Well, I'm already a good shot. I can shoot. I shoot a lot. I've got a range. I do the, great, fine. And I know we say it over and over again. You don't know what you don't know. The problem is there's no way to understand the depth of your ignorance being not being stupid, but a lack of knowledge, a lack of training.
Right.
There's no way to understand the depth of that until you know how much is out there.
And to be in a mall, they use the mall situation quite a bit because it's so prevalent. And in a mall situation is not the time you want to be learning.
No, gunfight is a bad place to acquire new skills.
Well put.
As I say, you will not rise to the occasion. You will fall to the level of your training and probably fall more than that because you are at your best the day after the training. And the next day you're about 99%. And the next day you're about 98%. Just to put a number on it so that you need to go back and either practice or get more training on a regular basis because it is perishable. And your skills will go downhill. They're still in your head. You think you can do all that stuff, but if you haven't practiced it, you're not going to be able to do it.
So guess who's going to get a better berm out back now? Give you one guess.
Time for more dirt.
Yes, sir.
It's time for more dirt, maybe even a little a berm with sidewalls on it so you can get in there and you can shoot in different directions. That would be perfect.
Yeah, I think we're going to go with like a boomerang-shaped berm and then a couple little, not backstops, but things to hide behind, some cover, 2x4 fake walls and stuff to shoot with the windows cut out.
Yeah, and you can get you some plywood and build walls and barriers and things that you can work with and maybe cut holes in them so you can shoot through the holes.
Exactly, windows.
There's all sorts of cool stuff you can do. Yeah,
so
exactly.
It'll be I'll be a work in progress, but I don't see it ever ending because it's just cool. No. And if I've got an opportunity like this, I'm going to follow through. I
want to say, well, we have to do this for the rest of your life. You have to work on it. But, we're such geeks about this. They say, no. We get to do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
The rest of our lives. How cool is that?
Yep. Yeah.
If you think of it that way, you go, come on, this is better than golf. This is better than most recreational things.
Heck yeah.
So we get to go do this. Yeah. Okay. It costs money. So, okay, I can't do it all the time. Okay. I can't do everything all the time. I'll do it once a year. I'll do it every other year, or I'll do it every month. Whatever the budget allows, I'll go do it. Poke around and see if you have any IDPA shooting or USPSA shooting in the area.
We do.
Because those are really valuable to go try your hand at that. And what I would say is try it, but don't worry about score or competing. Just use it as a place to work on skills. Because they will already have a range set up. They will have a scenario set up. They will have the target. They will have everything. You just bring a gun and holster and ammo and mags, and you get to run these scenarios that they already have set up. And you'll learn something each time you do it. And you'll learn something by watching other people do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I will look into that because it's, for example, the guy that stopped the mall shooting in, was it Minnesota or Seattle? He was a USPSA shooter.
Yes.
And so,
yes,
it's not like,
combative shooter.
Yeah, and then you hear these people, you practice with guns. Well, you're going to be some big hero, Clint Eastwood. No, not at all. I'm going to get my family and get the hell out of there.
Hope not. Yeah, hope not. But if I need those skills, wouldn't it be nice? Oh, yeah, and if you happen to be the person who's there, wouldn't it be nice for you if I have those skills and I can take this guy out?
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Well, I'm glad you did that. That is terrific.
Yep.
That is just great.
It was a life experience. It was as eye-opening as the VADA group training, believe that or not, because, again, it just reinforced what I didn't know, and it wasn't anything negative about that. It was something I owned. Yeah,
and it's kind of like we always say, it doesn't matter where you get training. Just go get some training. And yes, some schools are definitely going to be better than others, but just go get some and then go get some more and then try a different instructor or school, another place, and make this your continual, I'm going to do this, I'm going to take a class once a year somewhere kind of a thing. It's your summer camp. Even if it's just a one-day class, just go do something.
Yeah, and I like that USSBA suggestion. I'm going to look into that.
Okay. USPSA,
PSA,
United States Practical Shooting Association. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I wish they would come up with a better acronym, but, it is what it is. Or you can just go IDPA, International Defensive Pistol Association. Whatever. Pick one, go shoot it. Doesn't matter.
One of those disciplines that has letters in their name.
That's right. Well, that's right. You're going to, end up driving motocross or something. With guns. Wait, that could be good.
You might be onto something.
That's right. All right.
Well, I'll check.
All right. Well, listen, I know you got to go practice now. Thanks, Jim, and everybody else. Get some training, make a commitment, take care of your families. Thank you. And we'll see you next week here on Gun Talk.
Tell your friends about the Gun Talk After Show, a more informal setting featuring Tom, Michelle, and Jim commenting on topics that are important to you. Available on iTunes and other podcatchers, and the Gun Dealio smartphone app for iPhone and Android.